So after the first stage where we need to be close to our parents and we need connection and love, at a certain time we start talking, right? We start walking, we start exploring the world, and we feel we start having preferences. I like this food, I don't like broccoli. I want to wear green, not red. I'm not going to wake up when you want me to wake up. It's the age when children say no and parents are just terrified. But it's such a necessary stage, because that's when we start realizing I'm not my mother. Yeah, so I'm separating and I'm becoming my own individual. And that is when, I don't know about you, but I hear from people, most children are restricted. Parents are putting children into boxes. It's like, not all parents, but there is a lot of, you're going to wear this, you're going to eat this, you're going to wake up when I say you wake up, might even interfere with the friends that we have, might even interfere with the way we think. It's like, we don't think like this in this family. Or even with the way we feel. It's like, you're my boy never cries, or sadness, fear, we don't feel these things in our family. So this is invasion, basically. This is when we are constricted, when something is imposed on us. Exactly when we want to do like this, parents do like, eh? But we need to do this. And it's so important for children who have parents to have parents who allow for that. Of course, in a way that we don't hurt ourselves as children, but that we have space to do this. And we don't have in two ways. One is when we have a controlling parent, like, not controlling is actually the whole action of constricting the child. But with aggression and punishment is one way. Yeah, when we have an authoritative father, for example. And the other way is when we have an emotional parent, somebody who is maybe a sweet parent and loving us, but unconsciously, because everything is unconsciously, emotionally blackmailing us. Like, you cannot be sad because you're making mama sad. Or, I cannot believe that you're choosing to be with your friends when we would like you to be with us, your family, and so on and so forth. It's people from outside imposing on how we are, on our individuality. Yeah, and I have to say, when we have a strong abandonment wound, this doesn't bother us. It's like, there are some rules in this house, tell me which they are so that I can obey them, so that you can give me finally the love and the attention that I was looking for. So that's how good boys and good girls, come about. This is me again. But then there are people who were, let's say, they had good enough bonding in the first months of the life, and then at this stage they can feel that they are controlled. They can recognize, this is not okay, these are my thoughts, these are my feelings, it's okay to have them, it's okay to have preferences. It's difficult to express in this family, but it's not okay that they are repressed. And these are the rebellious kind, right? But most of the people who have this pattern, they don't learn to express, because expressing didn't take them anywhere. They just learned to run, to avoid. Like, yeah, mommy, I say like you and I do like me. And as soon as they are out of their family, another option is available, which is to completely disappear. And this is, so people with the invasion wound, which are also called in the attachment theory, they are the avoidant. They avoid. This is their strategy. And what they do is, when it comes to, well, okay, before that, so they grow up with an understanding that if they come into a relationship, they need to compromise. They will lose their freedom. That's their belief. That's their understanding. And you cannot be in a relationship and have freedom at the same time. That's their understanding. They also have these small antennas with which they search the environment for signs that their freedom is going to be taken away. And the moment they feel something, they're out of there. So that's why when they go into relationship, into dating, they actually sometimes they don't even go. They're like, I don't bother. I know it's not for me because I'm going to lose my freedom. Or they go into one night stands, short flings, you know, or sometimes they really feel like I'm going into a relationship now. Now I'm really going. And they take all the steps, and they can even take a girl out, or, you know, whatever, however is the opposite sex. They can take some steps, they become physically intimate, they might even make plans for marriage. And then it's like, ooh, this is becoming too serious. I'm out of here. And they go. So there is, there is a big fear. There is a big fear of losing their freedom. And usually I don't meet this kind of people in my work, because they have this door out. They can always go to another relationship. But sometimes they are fed up. So there comes an age where they feel like, I had enough of this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Can you help me? So that happens, but more rarely than the people with the abandonment wound. And the solution, or the way out, or the growth, the healing and the growth for this kind of pattern is learning to stay in the relationship and getting your freedom, which is by setting boundaries, basically, and saying what you need. So it's funny because they get together, like, this is the irony of life. They get together with the ones with the abandonment wound. So the ones with the abandonment wound, they are hurrying to the altar, yeah, and they feel like, oh my God, what's happening now? So it's really to learn to say, hey, I need things to go slower, or I need some space for myself now, and then just taking the space. Or I don't want to be physical now. Or, I'm not ready to move in. Or, I asked a man, so who was with this pattern, and of course I was with the other one. And I asked him at some point, because I wanted certainty, of course. I said, so do you want to be together? And I saw that it was problematic for him to answer. And he was like, and I insisted. And he said, no. I was devastated. But the funny thing is that he hovered around. He was not ready to go. So for some months, he was still around me. And we even got together later, back together, and eventually separated. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that that's the stage where people with this pattern, with this wound, they need to learn to say, look, I really like you. I want to spend some time with you and get to know you better, but I don't know if I am ready to commit. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I want a relationship, maybe. But I'd love to know how this unfolds. Would you like that? They are not, they cannot on themselves, by themselves, they don't know how to go there. But that's the growth. It's really to learn to set boundaries. Or when that person, the other person, the date starts talking about us. No, we are not us. We didn't talk about this. Wait, we are just dating. So it's, yeah, learning to kind of like carve out their freedom within the relationship which starts happening. Yeah, so I'm glad that you brought it up.
Okay.
Because the way I'm telling it, I am aware that it might sound very black and white. But here's
Okay.
the thing. We all have all the three wounds.
Okay, thank
We
you.
do. And the funny thing is when we work on our abandonment wound, sometimes we end up like the next level opens up for us and we start feeling our invasion wound because we were all invaded. And then we attract people who mirror that to us. This also happened to me. And
Okay.
also see with my clients this happening. And it's good. It's great that I'm so happy for you to hear that you are in touch with that. And it's true, it's the journey is a little bit different for us because we with abandonment, we don't recognize the situations which ask for a no. There's a difference. The guys or the women with the invasion on, they are better at this. They feel like something is not right. I can't say what, but it's not right, and I'm out of here. But we need to also go through the stage of recognizing the wound, and then the solution is the same. We need to set boundaries. And it's the same with the people with the invasion wound. That's, I didn't mention it, not to make it too complicated, but since you brought it up, sometimes it happens that they meet someone with a bigger invasion wound. And then they don't experience themselves as the avoidant. They experience themselves as the chaser. They get in touch with their abandonment. So it's, yeah, life is such a teacher. And it's great that you had also these experiences. When I had my issues, I started dating, online dating, and I was meeting guys I was not so attracted to. And so it was easy for me to learn setting boundaries because I was not so invested. And
Yeah.
then when I met someone who I really liked, and then he was putting me in the same situations, I was like, wait a second. It cannot be that with the other guy I set the boundary and with this one I don't. So it made me aware of where maybe I don't feel like setting the boundary or I feel like compromising, but actually I should set a boundary. So it's good also to date people we are not so interested in. My experience. So I don't know. Mm, yes, it can be. It's really to feel inside. Yeah, it can be. For example, if we are in an avoidant phase, we might go approach somebody who is married because we know it's going to be just a fling. She's not going to leave her husband, for example. as a man. But it's really to feel inside, because it's a bit tricky. The ones with the abandonment wound, we also go for unavailable, but it's because we cannot bear to have enough love. We say we do, but actually, so it's about feeling inside and being honest with ourselves. But yeah, it's both. It's possible. Yeah, it can come from both wounds. Yeah.